There was once a young man called Joseph.
Hello.
Joseph has 11 brothers.
Hey, how's it go there?
Of all the brothers, Joseph was his dad's favourite, and his dad had a very special, expensive, brightly coloured coat made for him to show him how special he was.
His brothers were very jealous and didn't like Joseph very much because of this, and this is what they chose to do to him. First, his brothers threw him into a pit. Then they decided to sell him into slavery. They took Joseph's coat, covered it in animal's blood, and told their dad that Joseph had been killed.
Joseph was taken to Egypt, where he was sold to an important man named Potiphar. Joseph was made to look after Potiphar's house. Even though Joseph was working as a slave, he chose to do his best. He worked really hard and was able to get promoted to a high role in Potiphar's house, where he was in charge of looking after all of Potiphar's things.
After a while, Potiphar's wife began to fancy Joseph and wanted him to sleep with her. Joseph chose to say no because he knew it was the wrong thing to do. This annoyed Potiphar's wife, and so she chose to lie about Joseph to her husband, and Joseph was thrown into prison.
Eventually, with God's help, Joseph was freed from prison and began to work for the Pharaoh. Pharaoh put Joseph in charge of all the land of Egypt, and people came from all countries to buy grain from Joseph because the whole world was in need of food.
Oh, thank you.
Some of those people were Joseph's brothers. When his brothers came, Joseph recognised them, but they didn't know who he was. After a few meetings with his brothers, he couldn't keep it in any longer, and Joseph said to his brothers,
"I am Joseph. Is my father alive?"
But his brothers couldn't answer him because they were afraid. Then Joseph said,
"Come here, I am your brother, the one you sold. Do not worry and do not be angry at yourselves for selling me, because God has put me here to save people from starving."
Joseph chose to forgive his brothers despite what they had done to him.